Let's talk about the most shocking moments from the Vanderpump Villa Season 3 reunion. Okay, starting strong with the fact that not even 10 minutes in, Hannah walked out. Now I know that they film a lot more than we see, but still, when you get a walkout this early, it sets the reunion bar pretty high. Gabriella and Hannah started as friends in the season, but it pretty quickly became a split house with Hannah and Gabriella squarely on opposite sides. At the reunion, it's clear that no love is lost, and the two got into it pretty quickly, and even went as far as calling each other terrible people, with Hagen jumping in and doubling down on telling Hannah to go to hell. When Hannah's dog, who she lost shortly before filming the season, came up, and Gabriella questioned how that could fully be to blame for the way she acted on the season, Hannah had enough, storming out crying, and Marciano followed behind her, yelling for Gabriella to get a heart. I don't think Gabriella is necessarily in the right in this situation, and we saw her say some nasty things towards Hannah, but it did feel like in this scenario, Hannah took Gabriella's comment as more of a dig towards losing her dog than I think it was meant to be. It didn't sound like Gabriella meant to minimize Hannah's feelings about losing her dog, but more question if that's an excuse for all of her actions. Hannah does have a tendency to blow up something before questioning how it was meant. Ultimately, Hannah and Marciano came back and the drama continued. Another moment that shocked not only viewers but Lisa as well was Chef Anthony basically giving an ultimatum that he wouldn't come back if Gabriella does. It was clear that during the season, Anthony didn't think that Gabriella worked very hard and was upset that they earned the same bonus. During the reunion, he even went as far as saying that Gabriella putting too much pressure on Louis, the original butler, who didn't even make it through a full day, is why he left so abruptly. It was interesting to me to see the clips of Gabriella telling Louis all the things he would be responsible for, because while I love Hagen, I'm interested to know if he was checking on all those things by himself once he became butler, because they didn't show him doing any of that. Any Bravo fan knows, though, you do not tell Lisa what to do with her business, and she immediately put Anthony in his place for telling her who he will and won't work with. Then we found out that Sage and Tyler tried to date for a little over a month outside of the villa, but after living together for only a little over a week, they called it quits because Sage didn't feel prioritized. And Sage admitted that advice from ChatGPT is part of the reason she broke it off. We can't be letting AI tell us how to move in life, so I hate that, but I feel like that couple just wasn't meant to last in the outside world, especially after we saw that Tyler asked for one of the guests, Bella's, number behind Sage's back, after throwing a fit that Sage merely spoke to another guest. Also, Tyler not believing you always have to tip while working in the service industry blew my mind. I am going to come to Tyler's defense over one thing though. Hear me out. And I want to hear your thoughts in the comments about this moment as well. When Tyler was asked if he had hooked up with Bella and everyone got up in arms saying he added a yet to the end of his answer, I didn't hear it that way, even after the slow-mo. I think Tyler is so in the wrong for so many things, but I do think he was just stumbling over his words and said yeah as a filler, not yet, because that is how he talks when he's nervous. To me, it sounded like he said, I haven't effed her, I haven't, yeah, no. Did you hear yet? Let me know. Now, Mike's presence at the reunion at all was shocking to both me and Lisa, who called out wondering why he showed up after quitting unexpectedly so early on. Not much came of him trying to explain himself and blaming Charlie's snoring for running away, but Lisa calling him out was great. We had some really fun Lisa moments in this reunion. There was a lot to say about Nick and his relationship not only with Alyssa, but also with Jess from The Bachelor and basically every single woman that came into the villa. But the most shocking moment was definitely Meredith randomly letting it slip that Nick hooked up with two girls right after seeing Jess in LA, and in Meredith's words, didn't even shower in between. Ugh. In typical Nick fashion, he offered little explanation and then surprisingly said he thinks Jess could be the one he'd change his non-monogamous ways for. I don't know if she's gonna go for that after seeing the show and hearing what Meredith just said. Now, I don't know that Dom denying having feelings for Alyssa was shocking, but seeing Alyssa's receipts of him talking badly about her on a live was. It was frustrating all season and in this reunion that Dom wouldn't just admit that he had feelings for Alyssa and handled them in the wrong way. He's really doubling down that he was only upset about their friendship, and getting drunk and trash-talking her on live just feels like a new level of disdain for someone he claims to have had such a close friendship with. Good on Alyssa for recording the live though. She had receipts. Though Hannah and Marciano were of course all over this reunion, as their will they won't they continue to cause division and frustration amongst the cast, the most shocking thing at this reunion to me was what Marciano's enemy, Jordan Nadikara, allegedly said about Hannah. At the end of the season, we saw Jordan DM Hannah about comments from people thinking they hooked up. When asked if she thinks Jordan was genuinely trying to hook up with her, Hannah said no, but that she'd heard that Jordan said he wished that producers had told her to hook up with him because he would have done it. I'm sorry, but Jordan is so gross. Not only is that so disrespectful because at that time he and Jesse were still married and actively trying to stay together, but also to imply that producers would push Hannah to hook up with someone and she would do it is not a good look for the show or anyone. Okay, so those are my most shocking moments from the Vanderpump Villa Season 3 reunion. Let us know which ones were your favorites, if I missed any, and if you think Tyler actually said yet or just yeah in the comments down below. I want to hear from you.